So let's work on the material for the explosion first. So yeah, obviously this needs to be connected up somewhere. It needs to be connected up to the actual material itself, and out here we can't do that. So we're just using Redshift material builder, and then we can do that inside. So if we call this explosion, well, if we delete this, okay, and call this explosion, should pick it up automatically. Okay, the material will be assigned because it, you know, has the same name. We'll do the same for this one actually. Okay, so just copy that, delete it, tail smoke, go, and then once we go inside, delete this material and find the it's the same Redshift volume node. Connect that up to volume. Okay, and that should work for us. So just to double check, we could just add a crazy tint there. There we go. That's coming out red. So, so first things first, we need to bring in that emission value, right? So the actual flame volume. So if we come down here to emission and in channel, put in flame. Okay. And then start setting up some colors here. We could start with the black body. So let's see, let's make sure that's actually getting picked up. There we go. So yeah, sometimes you need refreshing. I think when you're, you know, bringing in new information. So we're bringing in new volume there. So that's picking that up now. Now, typically, yeah, you don't want to just leave this at default. You want to play around with the values. We'll come to that in a moment. We want to play around with the scale. Yeah, I think I want to get this kind of, oops, not 1E. Set that a bit hotter. Okay, nice and strong. Colors there. Let's see what else. I'd like the density to be a bit stronger. So I'll give us, you know, reflect a bit more light there. Okay. In the advanced tab, we can play around with the values. So coming in, the values in the volume, you know, what's coming in, what's going out. They're basically like fits. Okay. If you've used a fit range or the fit function, it's basically the same thing. So let's brighten up even more those emission values. Kind of play around with them there. You can see that kind of brightening up there. Let's bring that down a bit. Cool. Okay, so obviously, yeah, we need to work on these on the colors a bit. Let's see. Also, yeah, we got this shadow density here, which will kind of give us a bit more shape. It'll show off the kind of details a bit more. Push that to 3. Cool. Okay, let's go back in here. I want to kind of get stuck into these colors here, because that's really where we'll see a big difference. So I'm going to push this black out. There's kind of a lot of trial and error with these, you know. So yeah, I don't like having this pure red and pure yellows. Prefer to kind of change them a bit, you know. Maybe drop that down. Just doesn't seem natural to me to have kind of these strong colors. Bring them down. Let's give that a bit of value there. What we can do here is also click on there, so you know you can choose colors in here, or even kind of like that as well. Well, another thing you can do, which I kind of like doing, is kind of selecting. So if you click anywhere along this, you'll get that color. So if I click there, I'll choose the color from that area, and then I can move that around, go in and change it, kind of soften it down a bit. So you can see most of this color is coming from this. So let me kind of dial this in to something that works a bit better, give myself a bit more room. So I've settled on these values. I'll just go through them, so you know, in case you wanted to have the same value. So you know, as long as you got the position and the color, obviously you'll have the values in the scene as well if you wanted to go through them. But just if you want to, you know, copy them from here, it's up to you. But I recommend kind of playing around yourself. Takes a bit of time to kind of experiment and just kind of see what works. Okay. But that's kind of what I've gone for. You know, you can, as we did in the excuse me, in the previous week, in the previous project, you know, you can put a layer of black at the end, or even stripes of strong black or something through the color. People like to do that as well. Okay, we can also, if we come up to this absorption coefficient, you can see we'll get a lot more contrast here if I start raising this up. The light's kind of being absorbed, right? Getting sucked in, and you start to get a nice bit of contrast there. I'll push that up a bit more. Just about there is quite nice. You can also add some color over a tint over the top of the emission. So just something really subtle I want. Just kind of a bit of something like that. Okay. And then yeah, I want to add some color to the actual smoke itself as well. So this scatter remap. So again, just something really subtle, kind of more browny, sooty kind of colors, you know. So let's try and kind of find those areas. Let's brighten this up. Kind of like a dirty, muddy brown. Like that. Add another one, kind of part way along. Going to change the, you know, the way that this is interpolated. Okay, so like doing something like that, we'll kind of push it towards the brighter area. You can see the effect there, and dropping it down does the opposite. Okay, I'm going to put that about there. Cool. Maybe even yeah, change this a bit. Maybe make that just a tad of yellow there. Okay, so I'm kind of happy with that for the moment. So let's move on to the tail smoke. So I'm going to move to another frame. Let's save that. Take a snapshot of that. Go to, let's actually visualize the tail. So jump here and go to frame 5. What's going on there? Seems to be a weird bug there. I can't see my actual frame number for some reason. If we jump to frame 5, hopefully that will get picked up. There we go, picking up the density there. So let's go into our material. Jump in here. So again, delete that and drop a volume. Connect that up to the volume input. And just again, just to double check, make it all red maybe. There we go. So I'm actually going to make this kind of a gray. Cool. Maybe let's push this up. Yeah. Great. Yeah, I don't want to do too much here. You know, we're not doing anything with the emission. We can add a bit more here. Yeah, you can see we're kind of getting more contrast with this. Yeah, let's push that up to 10. I think that'll do us for the. We're kind of picking up the color from the from the lights there, because we don't have, you know, this is just gray, so you can see we're picking up colors from the lights there, which is nice. So that's great. Okay, so I guess in the next video we'll look at the actual final render and caching this out. Sorry, saving out the render.